Are you about to start on your electrification journey? If so, stay tuned because in today's video, I will discuss the various steps that I had to undertake prior to having my solar system installed. Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by. My name is Philip and welcome to Electric Living. As I was mentioning before, my electrification journey started in the summer of 2023. And I do recall back in July and August of 2023, when I actually spent many hours learning about solar systems before actually making the decisions to go solar. And I also do recall when I actually put a list of things together, things that needed to be done prior to even installing the first solar panel on the roof. So the first order of business was to upgrade my hydro service from 100 amp to 200 amp. And that meant also upgrading my home electrical panel to a brand new 200 amp electrical panel. So I got in touch with a reputable and knowledgeable electrician to discuss all the various equipment that needed to be installed. But first, we actually decided to submit an application to the utility company to get the service upgrade. That was back in September of 2023, and it took us actually 4 months back in January 2024 to get approved. However, there was one condition on the approval, and that was to move 2 gas pipes away from the outside electrical meter. One pipe was actually the gas furnace, which actually was removed later on and replaced with a heat pump, but I will get to this in a future video. And the other pipe was the pipe corresponding to the water heater. The one thing to keep in mind is that we did receive the approval to go ahead back in January of 2024 in the middle of the winter here. And of course, because this is a one-day process, but that day you would not have electricity to the home because the utility company needed to actually cut power outside your home for the electrician to go ahead and install all the equipment, including the new panel. And so what we decided to do is actually to wait for the weather to warm up, and the upgrade actually in my case took place in the second half of March. And so on that day, the hydro company actually came in the morning, the power was cut, and then the electrician was able to remove the existing 100 amp electrical panel and replace it, in my case, with a smart electrical panel, a 200 amp panel, of course. But the idea of installing a smart electrical panel was to provide me with the ability to control every single circuit breaker remotely. Another piece of equipment that was installed in my case is a 200 amp service entrance disconnect. And this is a very important piece of equipment that I would definitely recommend to install, simply because it would allow you to cut the power from the home and have the ability to safely work on your electrical panel. So that was the first step in my electrification journey. The second major step was to contact a solar installer and start to design the system that I was envisioning. And in my case, the solar system that I chose to install was a DC coupled system with DC optimizers on the roof and one central 10 kilowatt inverter. The total inverter capacity is a very important piece of information that will be used to submit an application for net metering. So what is net metering? Essentially, when you export your electricity back to the grid, you will earn credits that you can use to offset your future electricity bills. And the hope, of course, is that over a 12-month period, you would have a net zero bill. But I will come back to this in a future video because this is such an important topic. And the question is whether or not we can truly achieve a net zero bill over 12-month periods. More on this in a future video. So in my case, the net metering application was submitted back in January of 2024, and it took us actually 4 months to get approved, and the approval came in April of 2024. What is very important to remember, and this is something most people are not aware of, but you may not be able to get approved actually for net metering. All of this will depend on the power capacity at the substation that is servicing your home. So once the net metering application was approved, everything unfolded fairly rapidly. The following step was to apply to get a building permit in order to install the solar panels on the roof. And we actually got and received the building permit in 3 weeks, sometime early May. Once we received the building permit, it was simply a matter of scheduling when the installation of the solar system would start. The solar system was installed in June of 2024, and after completing all the electrical inspections required, the system was turned on July 5th, 2024. So in my case, almost 10 months from the very first application to upgrade to 200 amp. That's a long time, but hopefully that is not the case in your jurisdiction. Wherever you live, my hope is that the process would be a lot easier and a lot faster. So I am curious, how did it go for you? How do you expect it to go in your jurisdiction? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you found this video useful. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.